Hello everyone and welcome to Flickering Myth TV. My name is EJ Marino and today we have a brand new movie review. I'm going to be jumping in to the brand new thriller film, Shirley. Do you ever have those movies that your friends keep telling you to watch and they're like, you have to check this out? And you're like, yeah, I'll get to it on my own time. Sure, This was a movie exactly like that. I had friends tell me you have to see Shirley, especially after like The Invisible Man this year. This is a big year for Elisabeth Moss and I'm a big fan of her. So they're like, hey, check this out. I put it off until last night where I finally saw Shirley and I am so upset I waited this long. This is a dramatic, erotic, hot, sweaty, just angry. It's a very strange little thriller that stars Elisabeth Moss, Michael Stolberg. There are some really good people in this movie that I'm, again, upset that I waited so long to watch a movie that I think is one of my favorites this year. Shirley stars Elisabeth Moss as Shirley Jackson, a very famous writer who wrote stuff like The House on Haunted Hill, The Lottery. She's a really big writer in our industry, especially for people who love horror and thrillers. She's a very big name. So this follows Shirley Jackson and her husband, played by Michael Stolberg, as a young couple comes to move in with them. And that young couple really throws off Elisabeth Moss's mental state. The Shirley Jackson character in this is a little she's a little troubled. She's not in the best mood. Especially a lot of writers back in this day seem to be a little strange. We go to Sylvia Plath, even hell on the male side, Ernest Hemingway. So Shirley Jackson is one of those characters, and when this new couple played by Odessa Young and Logan Lerman come into their house to start helping out, it gets very strange. It starts to get very erotic, very angry, very tense. There's a very early dinner scene here where we have all four characters together, and Elisabeth Moss is just so venomous. The way she the way she just tries to undermine everyone, the way she's trying to mess around with people, it's very good. It's one of those movies where I just sat back and said, oh my god, I can't believe they said and did that multiple times. I love a good film like that, and this has tons of those moments. This is getting compared to Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf a lot, with that young couple going in with an older couple, this examination of a marriage, especially a middle-aged couple in marriage in the 1940s, the 1950s. It's all very interesting, and yes, I see the Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf comparisons. They're there, and I'm not denying them, but I'm a big Tennessee Williams fan, and this gives me so much Tennessee Williams vibes. The anger, the sexuality, the overall just over-the-topness. It seems to be not a big, bold movie like you would think. It's not a big blockbuster, but the way they film it, the way they capture all this drama, it feels bigger than most movies I've seen this year. You cannot talk about Shirley without going in depth to how great Elisabeth Moss is in this movie. I would say this puts her into Oscar contention. Michael Stolberg is a great supporting actor as well, and I would love to see him get some award buzz because he's awesome. He is such a good actor, but Elisabeth Moss eats this up. I loved her in this year's Invisible Man. She was so compelling, so powerful. She's just had so much pain and torture, but she kicked ass. This film is very similar to wow, she is just kicking ass in a very different way. She's just so damaged in this, and her portrayal of Shirley Jackson is so interesting and so different. I really love Elisabeth Moss. The acting here, her stuff with Odessa Young, this very young and old, this way they interact with each other, it's so interesting. It's so kind of, at times I was like, oh my god, is she gonna slap her or kiss her? And that kind of stayed through the whole movie. There's this sexuality that's there from every character, and I just overall really love this acting in this. It's really cool to see a movie that, like I said earlier, that has a big feel to it. These actors are going the extra mile to make you really believe it, and it's all centered around Elisabeth Moss's crazy performance as Shirley. Like I said, she's going to be a big awards contender with this film. Who knows if we're ever going to get award shows ever again because of what's happening in the world, but if we do, I want to see Elisabeth Moss as Best Actress. Give it to some horror, and thankfully this is just horror adjacent, so the Oscars can't be too shady to it. Now, on a more technical level, this movie has a lot that I enjoy. The cinematography has this haze to it. It feels as smoky as like the rooms that we're in. It's so weird the way they use natural lighting. I overall love the cinematography. I love the aesthetic, like the costume design, the sets and all that. It's so cool. This whole like 1940s, 1950s period is a big spot that I absolutely enjoy. There's just a lot in this time period you can do with the costuming, with the way you handle characters, everything, and it just feels like that aesthetic. I compare it to Tennessee Williams in a way because this movie is just so hot and sweaty. Like, I wanted every character to take a shower because they looked like they were sweating. And so I think this is set in Vermont where they lived, but I don't even know where this was, but wherever they were, I was like, ooh, I don't want to be here. I need a cold glass of water just to get rid of the heat in this movie. And that's even coming from just the characters as well, because there's some hot tension. Oh my god, I love the whole vibe of this. So we have the cinematography, we have like the whole art direction, but the score of this film is so good. There's just wild strings, and not the way you would think strings like in horror movies. There's just this odd plucking that makes me as neurotic as the characters. It's so good. This is one of my favorite scores I have heard all year. I really think this movie on a technical level just knocks it out of the park. A strong script, good acting, and like really good filmmaking. Oh man, we have our first really great movie this year. Alright everyone, that is it for my review of the film Shirley. What did you guys think of this review? What do you guys think of this movie? It is now available on Hulu in the States. Overseas, I don't know where you can find this film, but see it immediately. If you can get your hands on this, you need to watch this awards contender. We can probably revisit it right, when award season starts, but if you can see this early, do not waste your time. It is that good. Alright everyone, make sure you guys leave me a comment down below. What did you guys think of this review? What do you guys think of this movie? I want to know all your Shirley thoughts down below. Do not spoil any of the craziness that happens, but we need to talk about this movie. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Alright everyone, let's talk about Shirley down below.